Washington.
This your boy, Martin for here once again.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Jamari for here once again, and woo, child, after last night, now I was gonna do this last night, but I was just too through. I was calling people, I was texting people, talking about, did you see this episode of motherfucking Just Atlanta? Preferably this, well, it wasn't really a brunch, but it was Troy's birthday dinner. And I'm just watching it live. I got like a little bit of the piece of Dominique and Troy's live on YouTube to get some of the tea, even though I came at the tail end of it. Hopefully, the day that this goes up, me and Dominique get to talk a little bit more, and I get to get the true tea, because those of y'all who watched this episode, y'all know that whole scene was shot from multiple angles. Okay, so a lot of stuff happened very fast. And so I want somebody to tell me the linear story of what happened, because the camera angles and stuff we editing, it's a lot going on, so we can't really see, and a lot of stuff gets lost in context. So hopefully me and Dominique get to talk today. I get to get some of the inside tea on that regard. But yes, child, this was an episode. I have not enjoyed an episode of any reality show in a while the way that I enjoyed this one right here. And Dario and the other Chasing the Reality producers, I enjoyed this. The editing was great and amazing. The storyline built up. This storyline made sense for the most part. So let's just go ahead and get into the whole year. So we open up with Miss Lauren. Now, we hadn't seen, this is episode 5? We have seen Lauren, I think, on the premiere with Oliver before she went up to China, and we saw her on the FaceTime, the infamous iPad, when Oliver called her, and we had Q talk to her while he was on AfterBuzz. She was still over in China doing her thing. So she's back in Atlanta now, and the first person that she wants to talk to is her dad, who she's rebuilding this relationship with. And she talked about how much fun she had in China, how she was able to do a lot of networking, get a lot of opportunities, and how she said she felt like Beyonce, child, because nobody there was judging her for her skin color, or I guess for who she was, and she just felt like she could be authentically herself, which is good. I feel like any moment where you're able to just live in your truth and not feel judged or feel, any kind of way around any group of people is always a reaffirming feeling. So I'm glad she was able to get that. And so, like a lingering question that I kind of always had, and I'm glad she sort of confirmed this, is that I remember when I first started watching the show, and I started with season 2 actually. So at the reunion, T.S. Madison asked Lauren, "Are you trans? What are your pronouns?" And at the time, she said that she still went by he, even though she was still dressing in this androgynous, more high femme fashion. And so now it seems like she's sort of confirming that she is in fact transitioning into a woman, and so her new name is going to be Lauren England. It's not just like a business name, so to speak. And so she's trying to find a way to express that to her dad, which I don't feel like, us as Black LGBT people, we know that sometimes coming out to our normally Southern Baptist or just highly religious family members can be very, very taxing. But, more often than not, I see that people usually do come around, or even if we don't have a family, our blood family, we find family elsewhere. So I'm glad to see that Lauren was able to express herself in that way. So this next scene that we get, we have Oliver going over to see this trade that visited him at his seasoning tasting, child. And I'm just like, now I thought, maybe this is beforehand, but I could have sworn you had a man, Oliver. Is this before your man got? Because like, I can't imagine my boyfriend going to see some other dude that they used to talk to and is rubbing on his face all delicately and shit, all caressing and stuff, talking about how they want to be with them. I'm like, this has to be beforehand. There's no way he's filming all this and he has a relationship. There's just no way. So he's over there, and the guy's like, I guess they've made dinner, and he's trying to sweet talk him, talking about how much, how well he's doing, how good he look, how his skin look, how fat his ass done got. And I'm just like, child. He sure is giving you them sweet nothings. And you know, a lot of us will fall for that shit. A lot of us will fall for that if we're not used to it, me included. But you know, you gotta look between the lines, because the thing is, Oliver knows him. Ooh, side note, I forget whose story I was watching. It may have been Oliver, or he reposted somebody that said, Oliver, don't trust him, his TV on the floor. And I look back and I'll be damned if it was. If y'all go back to that scene, y'all will see that man's, or if it wasn't on the floor, it was low. It was low. I don't know, try to save the man for what he got, but it's just kind of like, child. Anyway. So he's talking about love and marriage and stuff, and it sounded all good, you know, if we don't know him, but Oliver's like, girl, I know you got hoes in different area codes. You sit up here trying to make me feel like I'm the only one, like I'm special. Child, please. It sound good, but I know it ain't worth a damn. It's essentially what I got from that child. So then, after he'd already dropped that bomb, trying about marriage and bondage and all that other shit, he's like, oh, well, I used to talk to Q. What? So not only, it's like, of all the hoes in Atlanta, you gotta talk to the one that I was not only friends with, but now that I'm kind of like silently beefing with. Cause you know, in most friend groups, not everybody abides by the friend code, but in most friend groups, if y'all have a significant relationship and they start talking to one person, normally, especially if it was like a significant relationship, well, not even significant, it don't even really matter. If they would just engage with them in any kind of way, it always feels somewhat awkward to kind of go behind them and try to date that person, especially if y'all have met before. It's just weird. It's always, and then if you beefing with the person, then it's just like, oh, I'm already fully turned off, like full flaccid at this point. If not only is you trying to talk about marriage, and I know you got hoes in different area codes, but you also used to talk to my ex-best friend. Oh no. There's nothing. We cannot proceed further. You will not pass go at this point on this Monopoly stage, child. But so he's like still trying to steer the subject back to like him and Oliver. He's like, you and Q talked about what? So the guy, I keep forgetting his name. Like he kept saying it in the confession. It almost sounds like Gerard. I don't think it's Sherrod or Devon. It's hard to really tell what it was he was saying. I didn't put on the closed caption. But he was like, the guy had said that Q had mentioned the reason why he was more so mad at Oliver is because of something that he said on T.S. Madison's YouTube channel or one of her shows or whatnot. So I'm like, okay. But if that was the case, like if y'all was cool, I felt like if it's just something that you said that may have offended me, that's something that you can communicate. There has to be something more to it. And I saw in the trailer that they're gonna have a sit-down conversation between Q and Oliver, and I'm glad, because I'm kind of like, when are we gonna hash this out? Because this has just been this lingering thing between the two of them, and we just unclear. We get little bits and pieces and crumbs, and I'm like, girl, what is the tea? So in this next scene, we get Troy, and Troy is inviting Dominique and Oliver to this studio space that he wants to rent out for his upcoming online YouTube show. He wants to have like online celebrity guests. He wants to have people who can be there to perform. Apparently when all the COVID stuff is over, of course. But, so he's renting out the space because, you know, Troy's he's trying to sort of do like a career switch, I believe, to where he's less design and more so into like, I guess, PR. At least he said he had a background in that. He's trying to go with like blogging and things of that nature. So he's trying to get his studio space where he can make his show look professional. Cute. So when Oliver comes in and, you know, they're showcasing the whole area and whatnot, they talk about how he wants to put together this dinner because he was going to do like a field day. That was like the original pitch to Kendra, that they were going to go and play like games and try to be interactive and stuff. That wasn't going to work. So he just wants to do a birthday dinner, you know, for himself. And so when Oliver when they talk about the whole Kendra thing again, and he explains how they really didn't have necessarily a problem, but it came down to when they tried to start working together, and then his interactions with Wayne DePayne and how Wayne sort of pulled Kendra out of a show and said that she's not going to show up all of a sudden, and it was miscommunication. And this is when I was like, Troy said what I was saying since the first episode. Really, since I was watching since last season. I was just trying to catch up with last season. I feel like Wayne the Pain contributes a lot to Kendra's issues. Because Kendra has a lot of her own issues, okay, that she doesn't need Wayne helps with. And I just feel like he does not help her. It could just be unintentional. I just felt like there's just some negative energy there. Like I said, I don't really know this man, but just from what I've seen and just the vibe that I get, I just feel like she does need to go to places by herself without Wayne. She may not feel comfortable because she may feel like, oh, I'm by myself, I may get ambushed. It's good to have somebody with me. I get that, but I just feel like you need to be able to separate and stand on your own with stuff, because I feel like if you have your hype man with you, your hype man's gonna always try to like get you to fight and be rowdy and, you know, hype you up and to do it when it's not really what it is. So, like I said, I just don't trust Wayne at this point. And I agree that I felt like he is the middleman that is kind of fucking shit up for Kendra potentially, but that's her manager. Apparently, you know, I don't know anything about their relationship or what they got going on, so I'm just going by what I see. However, now this is when shit got interested in this particular scene, because Oliver was like, look, we don't even want to talk about Kendra no more. What's it with you two and Miss Lauren? Because what's the tea with that? And now that's the only thing. Now y'all know, assuming that they're watching, Troy and Dominique, y'all know I love y'all. Y'all are my moves, y'all are my loves. However, if I had to critique y'all on something in regards to this whole situation, is that I wanted to see y'all keep that same energy when y'all was talking to Oliver about what y'all issues were with Lauren. I want y'all to keep that same energy when Lauren came up on that iPad. Cause it was a little fraudulent. You know, I was just like, now y'all smiling, kikiing in front of this woman's face. Y'all just talking shit about her a moment ago. Don't do that. Don't do that. But, and you know, see, this is why I need to talk to Dominique, because I felt like I want to hear from him outside the platform where it's unedited as to like the issue with him, his sister and Lauren, like what that whole situation was. I know he had the discussion with Cameron earlier in the season about how there was an issue with her boyfriend and her getting kicked out. I want to just get the whole thing, because I feel like they could potentially edit some details out. So I want to get the whole thing. So hopefully when me and Dominique talk, we get to figure that out. And apparently Dominique was not happy with Oliver, because he was like, you know, Oliver and Dominique had a conversation at his shop, and he went back and told, you know, what he said to Lauren. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't expect, like, if it's close as they are, I'm not gonna expect for me to have a conversation with Oliver about one of his friends and him not go tell his friend what I said. Like, I would not, that would just be me. I wouldn't say anything that I wouldn't expect to come back, but Dominique said that he thought that was messy. I'm like, child, I would expect it. I would expect it. And you know, you just as messy. You are just as messy, Dominique. You know I love you, but y'all are both messy in this case. One case say nothing about the other one being messy. So this next scene, we get Lauren back in like I don't know if it's like a temporary apartment since she's been back home. She says she hasn't really talked to anybody and from the group yet, and she's there with her friend, and they're just trying to figure out, you know, how they want to do things with her business, and him potentially becoming her assistant and whatnot, because she's, you know, building a bunch of stuff she can't really handle it on her own. And what I wanted to take from this particular scene is how Lauren sort of giving like a tidbit as to what her beef with Kendra is, and I feel like I still don't have a full understanding. Aside from the whole big three, when the video that they did, I guess it really all stems down to what they may have said about her regards to her going to prison. I want somebody to sort of just lay it out, because I feel like I'm missing a lot of context in regards to that. Apparently Kendra feels like they called her a clout chaser and everything, so I'm like, okay, maybe I should just watch the video. That's probably where a lot of that stuff just come from. Whatever the big three video that they did while she was in jail, maybe I should just watch the video and see what all they said so I could have better understanding as to where all this rage and whatnot's coming from, child. So speaking of Kendra, we get to see her on set of her music video for Chasing Atlanta, the song that's on her, I believe it was her, I don't think it's her debut, but it's the same record with all the songs that we've heard thus far. It's on that same album. And again, I love Kendra. I love her delivery. It's very entertaining. It's very animated, and it's really, really grown on me. But when I tell you Wayne the Pain and do nothing for that song, like his delivery was so dead, and you just got Kendra like being real hard with it, real animated, like really like performing, and he's just not. I mean, I know is he not supposed to be a rapper? I don't know, but I was just like, you could have let Rico do that with you. That would have been cool. And I don't want to seem like I'm just hating on Wayne, but it's just like, however which way they portray him is just not positive to me. Anyway, so my boos, Dominique and Rico show up there to cameo in her new video. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I got a little bit triggered because when I watched them walk up, I recognized that parking lot, and I knew exactly where they were filming that at. They was filming that at the exact same place that they filmed the G-Status reunion, and I just had flashbacks. I had flashbacks, child. I was like, oh, I know exactly where that is, over there in Duluth. But, so Rico and Dom are there. They doing a little cameo in her video. I mean, the song is cute. The video looked nice. But like I said, I just wish that Wayne gave me more oof, you know. So they backstage, she getting her makeup and hair done for the video shoot, and they start talking about the potential dinner and how they think it's gonna go. And child, apparently it seems like at the time Kendra was more interested to have a discussion with Lauren and Q in regards to what they said about her, because that's what she mentioned, that Lauren said she was this clout chaser and doing all this stuff, and she thought like, oh, you know, I thought we were supposed to be sisters. I thought we were gonna be able to be together on this show as fellow Black trans women, and it was gonna be this bond, and it was just all the shade was thrown, and you acting like you better than everybody else and all this stuff. So that was a little bit more of a background on, I guess, with the beef between her and Kendra, but I'm just like, where did that start? It felt like it kind of came out of nowhere, and I feel like I'm missing something. So if anybody can tell me, even in the comments, as to where the beef between Kendra and Lauren originates or where it comes from, let me know, because I'm a little bit lost. So now we get to the birthday dinner. This scene was everything. This scene was everything. So much to unpack. Okay. So, first of all, when they get there, everybody walks in and they start greeting each other. Why, when Travis hugged Dominique, he was like, you ain't gonna put me on top of you, is you? And Travis was like, what are you talking about? Now, I don't know if he genuinely did not know what he was talking about, or if he just didn't want to call himself, you know, he didn't want to bring light to that situation right then. And Dominique was like, we'll talk about it later. I was just like, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord Jesus. Now, what I will say is, I know a lot of people were critiquing Dominique about putting out a potential narrative about Travis being like a predator, which of course could harm his business dealings and things like that. And I mean, it's true. Like I see how it can be perceived that way. We definitely don't want to defame anybody's character on this show that could potentially affect their livelihood. However, he did provide a receipt where Travis did do that to other people, and you are free to feel uncomfortable with how somebody greeted you. But that is a conversation that you definitely want to have with that person. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it could just be like I don't really know you like that, and I would appreciate if you didn't try to engage with me in that way, because I felt uncomfortable. I think it could have definitely been that, as opposed to the route that Dominique took, but I could understand why he felt uncomfortable. And so that little interaction that they had was just kind of funny. I was just like, child, I hope they do talk about that on camera though, because the girl, the streets was talking about you after that, child. And then when Kendra saw Oliver, it was just like a complete and total dismissal. She's like, Troy, what are you doing? Why you got Oliver here? Like, what's the point? I thought we was here to be at a family function and have a good time, and you brought this bitch. And I'm just like, oh, child. You already knew that there was no way they was gonna have. I think he told you that he was gonna be there. That y'all was gonna have to be at this event or at the place together anyway. So it's like, you might as well. Shit. So it looked like everybody was sitting down. You know, everybody was just kind of really waiting on Q and Lauren to show up. And then in comes this edible arrangement, right? So the edible arrangement is delivered to Oliver. And the letter says, "Dear Oliver, I'm sorry I couldn't attend your event. Something came up where I had to do client work with K. Michelle." And it came from Lauren. Now, just the fact that Lauren sent a gift to Oliver at Troy's birthday party was a cackle. Now, I noticed she posted on Instagram that she didn't know that it was Troy's event and she thought it was Oliver's event. And probably because Oliver invited her, or did Troy invite her? I don't know. But she was confused and it was an honest mistake and it wasn't shade. Not no shade to Troy, because Troy was like, well, bitch, how the hell you gonna send a damn gift to Oliver and it's my birthday party? I mean, true that. But the whole thing is, while he was trying to read the card, Kendra is over in the bag, just going off, talking about some where is she at, blah, 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 blah. Like, she was ready to engage with Lauren about the whole clout chaser situation and what she said. And she was upset that she was not there to address it. And then, so this is where things start to, like, I guess, take off. Because I'm trying to make sure that there's not, like, any details regarding this that I miss. Because she's like, you know what, Oliver, you good, baby. You good today. Because I'm not even really here for you because I wanted to address these other two bitches. And to me, this is when Oliver was like, you know, I just want to say something. Let's try to get through today, okay? Because we're here to celebrate Troy's birthday, to celebrate him, and let's try to get through today and not let these uproars and stuff happen. Let's just not bring our issues to this. Let's just, you know, put our issues aside for today. Now, the tea that I got, I'll probably get to confirm this with Dominique if we get to talk about this, is that there was a lot more that was cut out from what Oliver said, which put more context into the comment that Kendra said later about him playing the victim, okay? And because I was like, wait, how was he playing the victim when he asked, can we be copacetic and peaceful at somebody else's event? Because that's when Kendra got up, got in his face, looked like she was about to hit him over the head with something, and Oliver was like, bitch, he sat there, he didn't get up yet, he sat there and was like, girl, you're getting carried out, bye. She got carried to the bathroom, she's screaming and hollering, talking about that bitch tried it. How y'all talking about like it's me, it's not me, it's him, it's this, that, and the fourth, and I'm just like, wait, what? How did we get here? I was so confused, y'all. I'm like, okay, so she's in the bathroom, because she was about to hit him over the head with something, and now Troy done pissed off, because they had to pull the thing out of her hand, and now Troy is up there clapping at her, talking about some, look, I told y'all was not gonna be here fucking up my goddamn event, which I get it, because I believe he says his friend had kept the food for them to be eating, and I'm sure they rented out this spot, and now they're trying to tear it up and with all this violence and all this other stuff, so I would be upset too. I would be upset too. So now you got Oliver in one room going on talking about, so this is why we not in the same places, we don't get the same opportunities, we're not on the same level, and Troy is hyping them up, talking about, you know, in reference to both Kendra and Wayne, because he's not really feeling how they acting. And Cam was there. I don't even know, when did Cam show up? I think Cam was the one that bought the Hennessy, based off of what I saw on Instagram Live last night. So he was the one that brought the Hennessy, so that's where he sort of came to the mix, child. And so Dominique's trying to talk to Oliver. Dominique went in and talked to Kendra, trying to, diffuse the situation. And so production, they kind of get everybody to somewhat calm down. Not really. But they bring Kendra back to the table. And I'm just like, child, I know we want to try to get through this, but I just didn't see this going good. Did this happen before? I think this did happen before Kendra came back. Let me tell you something. It was so funny to see while Oliver and Troy and everybody else was just screaming, hollering, Rico looking around like, girl, what the hell going on? All the girls are fighting. Travis got up, made him a shrimp plate, sat down and prayed over his food and proceeded to eat. I'm like, you know what? That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Because especially if I'm trying to talk to y'all and anybody listen to me, everybody too mad to listen and they just going, I'm like, okay, girl, y'all do that. I paid especially when he said he paid my $30. Oh, hell no. I'm certainly gonna get up and I'm gonna fix my damn plate. You fucking right. Shit. And it looked good too. That shrimp did look good. It looked like whoever made that, put their foot in there. But yes, God, I'm gonna get my goddamn food if I paid for it. Shit, I ain't about to get kicked out of here and not eating. Shit, like a certain other event, but we're not gonna talk about that. But yes, God. So Travis, we see each other in regards to that aspect because I would ate too. But anyway, so they did bring Kendra back. And immediately, I couldn't really hear, but I think like Oliver made something about a comment about her being from Animal Planet because she acting crazy. And then Kendra was like, yeah, go ahead, play the victim. And then Oliver just started getting smart and just like, you know what, bitch, I'm just about to go ahead and just start reading. I'm just about to go ahead and just start reading. And so, girl, that was when, I said, is there anything else I'm missing before the big blowout happened? Because I don't think I am. I think we can just go ahead and get right into it, child. Whew. Kendra got up and tossed what looked to be like a plastic bowl. And when I thought that Oliver got up and was about to deck her, he really just got up and was like, how dare you, bitch? How dare you just blah, 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 blah. So he just going and doing this. I'm just like, okay, so it wasn't Oliver that was engaged in the whole, fisticuffs. Then now tell me if I'm wrong, this is why I have to talk to Dominique. Kendra threw something at Oliver. Oliver stood up. Then it looked like Troy threw something, an unknown object, towards Kendra. And that was when girl Wayne DePayne and his Tasmanian devil swooped around the other side of that damn table, fell, but got back up and was charging at Troy. Now, poor Rico then got in the middle between the two of them. I think he then got hit a couple times in the head. He was like, oh, hell no, fuck this. I ain't with this shit. Baby, Rico got out the way, and then Wayne and Troy started boxing, girl. Now, Troy, she did get you. She did. Now, again, this is from, at least for what it looked like to us. We stay focused in on that one good hit that she did get into the side of your face, Cheryl. Now, you may have gotten a little bit licks in during the whole scuffle that we may not have seen that clearly, but the one that we did see, she got you, girl. She got you, sis. But see, Troy don't really pass to me like he really is a fighter regularly. He seems like the type that would fight if he's just pushed to do it, or if he's just like really, really agitated or feels disrespected. So, I mean, you do what you can. Hell, I know I ain't no fighter either, child. I call the police. I tase. I'm not about to mess up my money maker, child. I'm not about to do it. So, so now they don't fight. So now Wayne and Troy started fighting. And so, which then that causes Troy's best friend, who was the guy with the dreads, to jump in. And so now that it's like a 2-on-1, of course, Kendra pulls herself in. And you got Cameron and Dominique, and I want to say and Dario from production, all in this corner, swinging. I'm just seeing windmills. I'm seeing doop, 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 doop. Like, I'm seeing all this going. It looked like they was honestly going around in like a merry-go-round. Like they was spinning around each other, just swinging. And this is my thing. A lot of times, it seems like people, they swing like this, like they try to hit with like the bottom of their hand or like this part where they doing, and I'm like, no, that ain't, you have to use these and go down. Like, this is where the damage comes in. You doing the, I mean, I guess you get something, but this is padded. Like, this ain't really, you know, it ain't really doing too much unless you would get these knuckles right here. And it looked like they was bashing Troy, and his friend was bashing Kenya, but I don't know why I keep calling her Kenya. Kendra behind the head. And then that's when Troy gets pulled out. I think not Cameron, either Cameron or Dominique, I couldn't tell who. Damn, I'm trying to remember all of the order that this stuff had happened. Cause Wade had flipped Troy's friend over. They didn't really show it, but he was trying to get underneath him and he got flipped over. And then this is when we get that slow motion of Kendra pulling up this chair. And I'm just like, where is this chair going? What is happening with this chair? And she actually, to me, from what it looked like she hit Troy's best friend with the chair. Okay? And it looked like the best friend was like, oh, hell no, I got that chair. It was about to throw it right back at her ass. But production stopped him. I think it may have been Troy. Somebody else had stopped him and pulled him back. And you got the other production young lady getting Kendra, holding her in the corner. She's like, y'all, I done fought for everything that I motherfucking got. Y'all don't know what the hell I done been through. And I'm just like, okay, so it was in this moment that I knew that all of this anger, all of this frustration, all of this rage that Kendra has, to me, has nothing to do with this situation or anybody in this room, to be completely honest. It feels like she has always felt like she has to be combative and defensive because of how people have treated her for being either dark-skinned, being either LGBT, or being trans. So she feels like people are already against her, and anytime anyone does anything remotely against her, she lashes out. And that's some inner working that Kendra has to work on. Those are anger issues, and plus they were all drinking, so it was just a formula for disaster, honestly. But that's definitely something that Kendra herself has to work on, okay? Because, and then that's why I'm like, Wayne DePayne being there and kind of hyping up this negative energy is not helping her. Like, you just got out of jail. Like, this might be an assault charge for you, depending on how they want it to go down. But then, so after all this goes down and they outside, Troy is out there yelling like, you bitches are gonna die. Like, you're gonna die. And I'm just like, you know what? That's very problematic. That's, what do they want to call that? Premeditated murder? It depends on how you want to look at it, but I can understand when you're in the heat of the moment and you just got into a physical altercation, you know, adrenaline is high, so you're gonna say what you want to say that it will hurt them. But I'm sure looking back, he's probably like, ooh, this does not look good. This does not look good. Even though I felt like he meant that, because he did get hit at his birthday party. It was his event, and his friend got hit with a chair. So I get it. I get it, you know? And then we see in the preview of the next episode, he done got the tripod out the trunk. He about to look like he about to whoop her with it. And then they holding Kendra back in the back. And I'm just like, child, everybody's pissed. Dominique's irritated that people can't get along. He done got trampled over. It's just, that episode, I mean, it was great entertainment value, but it does suck how a lot of what the anger and frustration is based on is miscommunication, unnecessary cattiness, and even though it's entertaining, it sucks that we are combating within our own communities, because girl, the outside world already hates us, and we need to try to stand together as much as we can. But child, let me know what y'all think, because I didn't expect this video to be that long, but I did want to make sure that I incorporated and included everything in my thoughts on as much as I could. But yes, God, y'all, yes, God. Let me tell y'all, I am thoroughly enjoying this series. I hope to continue, and I've reached out to some of the producers, just Chasing Reality, to be a part of it, to host anything, to help film anything, because I'm just like, this is so awesome, and the cast has been very gracious to me. Some of them we've exchanged information. They've become like friends of mine now, which is always a blessing. So I'm really, really thankful for that. And before I go, if you guys have not had a chance to donate, if y'all are not watching me and my co-host Scotty on The Prelude on his channel, we are hosting a fundraiser to be able to purchase a new MacBook so that we can start our upcoming podcast. Like, we have the name, we have the artwork, we have everything. We just want to get the laptop in order to help put everything together production-wise. And we have reached over half of our goal. Our goal was $1,200. We're sitting, I believe, the last time I checked, like $705. So that is a huge accomplishment. I just kind of went on a whim. So thank each and every one of y'all who have donated. And if you wish to donate, the link will be in the description box below. I appreciate it. Thank you guys ahead of time. And yeah, this is the first time that you're watching me. My name is Jamari4. All the links to my social media will be in the bottom bar. So let me know what you thought about this episode. Let's discuss this in the comments, child, because this was a doozy. Thanks again, you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.